Hello and welcome to our channel. In America, we do not worship government. We adore God. That alone demonstrates how much faith and trust Trump has in God. When running for the Make America Great Again campaign, Trump constantly stated that with God's guidance, he would make America shine. Indeed, America under Trump has accomplished outstanding results, leaving the American people delighted. Furthermore, he publicly defended Christians, which is something few people dare to do for fear of political repercussions. Melania Trump is with Donald Trump. She accompanied him to his overwhelming triumph the last time, and she will continue to support her husband in his presidential campaign in 2024. Donald Trump appears to have a significant advantage on the path to the final race. Similarly, in November 2024, throughout their campaign for the White House, Trump and his wife frequently revealed their religious convictions, and their most recent message will undoubtedly surprise everyone. She has faith in God. In the early days of Trump's campaign, however, his faith was extensively discussed by individuals who both loved and despised him. The former First Lady's personal faith has been far more secret, but she is a Christian. If you enjoy our content and want to support us, click on the Super Thanks button below. Your Super Thanks is not just a donation. It is a blessing that supports our mission to share the transformative journey of Jesus. She confirmed it during a meeting with the Pope in 2017. Melania extended a rosary for the Pope to bless. The pontiff placed his hand over hers and made the sign of the cross, which is considered a great honor for Christians. She later shared on social media that the meeting was an honor that humbled her and that it was a day she will never forget. The next day, Melania's spokesperson verified to the press that the First Lady is a practicing Christian. The Trumps married in an Episcopal church, with a ceremony in 2005. Melania walked down the aisle with a rosary, rather than a bouquet of flowers. This could indicate the depth of her personal faith. During her first public speech as First Lady, she hinted at her faith by beginning with the Lord's Prayer. Because of her faith, Melania and her husband frequently make public declarations, defending their faith and encouraging others to believe in God and pray with them. I believe in God, America, and you too. Donald Trump and Melania Trump are both incredibly influential in every way. They are being watched by practically every country and nation, not just the Americans. So, when they profess they believe in God, the community will respond positively. As previously stated, the Trump pair has never been bashful about professing their faith. They freely discuss God and frequently appear to lecture and speak in churches or in front of Christians. And now, while campaigning, they frequently remind us of God. Former First Lady Melania Trump got accolades for tweeting that the National Day of Prayer was an opportunity to celebrate religious freedom. The First Lady's tweet featured photographs of her conducting a commemorative event, as well as a photo of her praying, while her husband spoke from the platform. Following Melania Trump's ceremonial start, the president complimented her for her outstanding performance as First Lady. Respect for Melania Trump, who has mainly avoided political matters. What she presented the media was merely an expression of her faith. There is no judgment, direction, or disagreement. Also in the speech, Donald Trump stated, as God promises in the Bible, those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They'll glide on their wings like eagles. They will not tire during running or walking. A presidential proclamation released by the White House cited Isaiah 40:31 from the Old Testament and stated that our society recognizes religious liberty as an inherent right given to us by our Creator, not a courtesy. That government treats us like his wife, Trump frequently expresses his religious beliefs in public. Trump stated that you are a living witness to the Christian message of faith, hope, and love. America is better when people put their faith into action. Trump said, "Nobody will be able to prohibit you from practicing your faith or preaching what is on your heart as long as I am president. We shall always advocate for all Americans' right to pray to God and follow His teachings." Trump also stated that America is beginning a new chapter. I know Trump has had a number of scandals and conflicts, but his and his wife's faith in God is something we should acknowledge. He was extremely helpful to Christians in general, as well as Israelis. Someone once observed, "I do not believe that any president in our lifetimes has done so much to benefit the Christian community in such a short time span as Donald Trump." Do not allow anyone to control you. In a public speech, the former president discussed religious freedom in America. "We love our country. We cherish our families. We cherish our freedom, and we adore God," he declared. He traced the origins of religious freedom in the United States, arguing that this freedom can only be found in God. Since the signing of the Declaration of Independence 241 years ago, America has always asserted that liberty originates from our Creator. He stated, "God gave us our rights, and no earthly force can ever take them away." He also discussed how religious and civil liberties have been under attack. Politicians have been trying for too long. Oh, have they sought to concentrate power in the hands of a small few in our nation's capital? He remarked, "Bureaucrats believe they can take over your lives, overturn your values, interfere with your faith, and tell you how to live, what to say, and where to pray." He then stated that families and churches are the foundations of a healthy civilization. But we know that parents, not bureaucrats, know the best way to raise children and build a thriving society. He continued, "And we know that families and churches, not government officials, are best equipped to build a strong and loving community. Above all, this is common knowledge in America. We don't worship government, we worship God," he explained. At that period, the message resonated with Christians who voted for Trump in the expectation that their religious freedom and traditional values will be protected. Throughout his speech, the former president made it plain that he values faith and is committed to its defense. God has not only given us the gift of freedom, but He has also given us heroes who are prepared to devote their lives to safeguard that freedom, he stated. Even though he is still in the early phases of his election campaign, Trump appears to be giving inspirational speeches about faith. And it appears to be having a positive impact, as many individuals publicly supported Trump. The most important faith she has is in her husband. Former First Lady Melania Trump has stated that she supports her husband's third try to reclaim the White House, despite the fact that she has not attended any of his campaign events since he officially declared his re-election run. "He has my full support, and we look forward to restoring hope for the future and guiding America with love and strength," she told the journalists. Former President Donald Trump began his re-election campaign in November with his wife at his side. She has not attended any of his subsequent appearances. She added, "My husband had incredible success during his first administration, and he can lead us to glory and wealth once more." She stated that if her husband is elected for a second term, she will use her platform to promote children's well-being. She stated that her primary focus would be on providing a secure and caring environment for children to learn, grow, and thrive. "If other difficulties emerge, I will investigate them and determine their root causes." The former First Lady revealed her plans. If her spouse is elected to the presidency, her humanitarian ideas will be implemented. Of course, her faith-based messages and projects will be executed. What if God chooses Trump to be president? The question of whether Trump is God's chosen man is fraught with dispute. God is unconcerned with human affairs. He granted us all free will and then said it was done. Many evangelical Christians believe that Donald John Trump was chosen by God to save the United States from its sinful ways. Someone believes God loves us all and simply wants us to get along? He possibly even adores his child Donald. However, I am reminded that God also loves his fallen angel, Satan. That is why he is God, and I am just a little old mainstream Christian trying to make Trump a one-term president and return some genuine human compassion to our hurting country. Trump believes God chose him. In a recent turn of events, Donald Trump expressed a belief that his ascent to the presidency was divinely ordained. As the race for the White House intensifies, with the Republican base gearing up for Iowa's pivotal caucus, Trump unveiled a video that seems to echo this sentiment. The video, crafted by a supporter, casts him in a messianic light. It opens with the scratchy, nostalgic imagery of a record spinning on a turntable, accompanied by a preacher's voiceover from what seems like an archival sermon. The narration proclaims that on June 14, 1946, God, surveying his earthly domain, decided it was time for a guardian and thus chose Trump. This video further elaborates on Trump's destined role: to challenge Marxism and to be a vocal critic of what he deems as fake news, equating their words to the sharpness of serpents' tongues. It suggested that he was heaven-sent to not only rise before dawn, striving to reshape America, but also to confront international challenges and navigate complex issues after hours in the Oval Office. The narrative in the video paints a picture of a man with the strength to grapple with the deep state, yet possessing a tenderness to cradle his grandchild. It makes audacious claims about God desiring someone brave enough to cross into North Korea, bolster American employment, fortify the southern border, enhance the military, and tirelessly battle against the established order. The voiceover continues, portraying Trump as a multifaceted figure capable of wielding both an axe and a sword, a man of courage who dared to step into North Korea. He is described as someone who can transform the tar of the sand into lucrative opportunities, discerning the nuanced differences between tariffs and inflation. The video concludes with the notion that Trump, after completing a standard 40-hour workweek by Tuesday noon, would devote an additional 72 hours to his presidential duties. In a recent statement, Donald Trump attributed his success and confidence to divine favor, asserting his belief that he has been chosen by God. He points to his impressive wealth and his strong political influence as evidence of this divine backing. Trump, a billionaire, is confident in his unique ability to balance America's economic growth while also safeguarding and connecting with the Christian community. His faith in God reinforces his conviction of being the chosen one. In a new interview, Trump expressed his awe of the divine, saying, "There's nothing like God." Despite having faced criticism from some evangelical circles due to his multiple divorces and remarriages, a significant demographic in the GOP primary, Trump maintains his religious stance. When asked about his perception of God, Trump responded with a reflection on his accomplishments and how they relate to divine creation. He used the example of a real estate deal where he acquired a prime property on the Pacific Ocean without any mortgage, as a metaphor for what he aims to achieve for the country: great deals and a resurgence. He sees these achievements as intertwined with the concept of God as the ultimate creator, mentioning the grandeur of the Pacific Ocean as evidence of God's unparalleled existence. The discussion around faith, particularly in the context of Donald Trump's belief in God, raises the question of whether belief is a matter of choice or predestination. Trump's approach, placing trust in God for every decision, suggests a divine guidance in choices, leading to the notion that if God selects someone for a role like Trump, people should respect and trust this choice, whether it aligns with their preferences or not. This topic has sparked a heated debate. On one hand, some argue that believing in God is a personal choice, emphasizing individual freedom in matters of faith. This perspective allows everyone the liberty to either believe in God or not, according to their personal convictions. On the other hand, there are views suggesting that belief in God is not entirely a choice, but is influenced by factors like upbringing, environment, and genetics. Research on this topic offers a nuanced view. It indicates that while certain factors, such as being raised in a religious household, might predispose someone to belief in God, there is also evidence supporting the idea that belief in God can be a conscious choice. For instance, a study in Nature Neuroscience highlighted that adults raised in religious homes tend to maintain belief in God, even if they don't practice their childhood religion. However, the study also found that individuals not raised in religious households could still choose to believe in God if they wished. Therefore, it appears that while certain elements might make someone more inclined towards belief in God, the ultimate decision to believe lies with the individual. This aligns with the concept that belief forms the foundation of our actions, whether consciously chosen or unconsciously influenced. This idea resonates with the biblical reference in John 21, where Jesus urges his disciples to believe without doubt, highlighting the importance and power of belief, irrespective of its origin. The notion that one's love for oneself should surpass even that for one's enemies is deeply rooted in faith and trust in God. This kind of faith is essentially a firm belief in something for which there is no tangible proof or guarantee. It's more connected to our emotions, be they conscious or subconscious, than to our intellectual capacities. Our beliefs are malleable and can be shaped according to our preferences. This adaptability of belief is what crafts a vision of possibilities, both achievable and seemingly unattainable, fueling the fires of aspiration and driving us towards our goals. A strong, unwavering belief is a tool for developing the willpower necessary to achieve these goals. This resolve is born from the conviction that we can, and indeed will, accomplish what we set out to do. It's this resilience in the face of adversity, powered by belief, that allows us to overcome obstacles. Belief is not static, it evolves and adapts in response to change, propelling us forward towards our objectives and igniting our passion. In essence, belief is both a motivator and a driving force that spurs us into action and keeps us moving forward. The question of whether faith is a belief or a choice is a subject of much debate. Some argue that faith is an innate trait, something you are born with and cannot opt out of. Others contend that faith is a deliberate choice, not an inherent attribute. Personally, I lean towards the latter viewpoint. I believe that faith is a choice, something that must be actively pursued and nurtured daily. If faith were merely an innate trait, then the freedom to choose or reject it would not exist. Thus, faith requires an active decision, a commitment that each individual must make for themselves. Ultimately, it is our responsibility to choose and shape our own beliefs. Our perception that we exist within reality is fundamentally shaped by our beliefs, which are not merely intellectual assumptions, but also encompass emotional dimensions, both conscious and unconscious. The idea that belief is a choice, rather than an absolute truth, echoes the nature of decision-making. But this doesn't mean that belief and truth are synonymous. Negative or pessimistic beliefs, for instance, are often rejected due to their detrimental impact on our environment. Take Garry Kasparov's hypothetical belief in his lack of chess skills. For example, his belief, coupled with the subsequent negative feelings, does not equate to truth. The concept of choosing to believe in God is complex. For those raised in religious households, or who have had profound religious experiences, belief in God might seem inherent. However, for many others, belief isn't something that can be conjured up at will. It's a common notion that you can't simply close your eyes and force belief. Yet, the idea persists that cultivating a religious mindset is a choice that can be influenced by lifestyle decisions over time. eventually leading to faith. By following the practices of devout believers, such as regular attendance at places of worship, engaging with sacred texts, reflecting on the teachings of faith founders, and associating with believers, it is thought that belief might eventually materialize naturally. However, the argument that belief is either entirely a choice or not is complex. Some people might inherently lean towards belief or skepticism, but environmental factors, especially early education, play a significant role. If a child isn't exposed to religious teachings, they may grow up without this religious connection. In this light, religious belief can be seen as a cultural trait, taught and reinforced from a young age, with early exposure often leading to stronger beliefs. If you enjoy our content and want to support us, click on the Super Thanks button below. Your super thanks is not just a donation. It is a blessing that supports our mission to share the transformative journey of Jesus.